So what we have here is the San Marco Aspide Supercomfort saddle, road bike saddle. Now it comes in two widths, there's a wide and a narrow. The wide saddle is 142mm wide approximately, and the narrow version is 132mm wide. Now, as you can see by looking at the scales, this is a very light saddle. It's despite having steel rails, it's coming down at a very impressive 200 grams, and this is very much a performance saddle. I found it does have what the maker San Marco says. It has a layer of gel on the top of a biofoam padding, so this apparently is why they're calling it super comfort. But if you call, it's a big claim to make to call any saddle super comfort, so I was only too keen to try this one out, especially on the rough roads that I have to deal with on a regular basis. So how did it go? I did one or two rides up to 70 kilometers, and it was actually very good. It was better than I thought it would be. It's kind of it's quite a firm saddle. There's no flex whatsoever in or hardly any flex in the saddle shell. There's a bit of flex at the front there, but at the back it's relying on the padding itself. There's hardly any flex in this saddle at all. It's very much a performance saddle for doing time trials and racing and all that sort of thing. The padding's, it's not bad. That you can feel that sort of springy gel padding underneath the surface of the cover, it worked quite well. It wouldn't be my choice for the sort of roads that I ride on. If you're on decent roads, this would be a very good saddle. Or if you're doing time trials and so on, and of course if you're doing time trials, you're not going to be, the roads have to be sort of reasonable, fairly decent to do those safely on. So you should go on quite well with this saddle if that's your purpose, is to do racing and time trialing. As I say, the weight is very impressive at 200 grams, considering it's got steel rails, and it's very well manufactured, as you might expect. This isn't a cheap saddle. It retails for between £70 and £80, which is at the sort of the low end of the premium sort of end of the scale, or the high end of the mid-range. It depends on your, I suppose, how much money you've got. And this saddle comes with, a large cutout there. You can see my fingers going through it. And this is very good for ventilation. It's supposed to relieve perineum pressure. That's the pressure right in the sort of middle between the sit bones. But I don't really have that issue, so it's not really a big deal for me, that. But what I did find, it did provide plenty of ventilation, and that's pretty good. And it's a lovely looking saddle. I mean, this is one of the best looking saddles I've used, and it's a shame that I won't be able to use it on a regular basis, simply because of its limitations in terms of comfort. But as I say, if you're under the right circumstances, this is an excellent saddle, and it's very well made. And the actual cutout is supported here by a hard sort of plastic support, which you don't always see in a saddle with a cutout, and that prevents the saddle from sagging and helps to maintain its shape over time. So that's you can tell this is a very well-made saddle, and it's typical of San Marco. They do tend to cater for racers, competing cyclists, that sort of thing, rather than the sort of the weekend warrior type who's out for you know, on a recreational ride. But yeah, it's a really nice saddle. You can see my fingers sort of, I mean, there is plenty of padding there, and you need that padding because this, as I say, it doesn't, you know, you're getting hardly any flex from this at all. And so, what marks do we give it then? Let's have a look. Appearance, certainly 5 out of 5. It's one of the best looking saddles out there. Quality, again, 5 out of 5. It's a very well made saddle. Value, 4 out of 5 I'm giving it for value. And comfort, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 on the basis that this isn't a saddle for sort of long sportives on very sort of rough country farm roads. It's just it's too stiff. The shell's too stiff for that. Even though I didn't get any saddle soreness over 70 kilometres, I was starting to feel a bit jolted with it. You know, I was getting jostled around on the bike and bouncing around just because it was so stiff, and I did feel rather fatigued with this saddle towards the end of the 70 kilometres. So I wouldn't like to do 100 kilometres on it, and so that's it. That's a San Marco Aspide Supercomfort saddle. Thank you.